Ooh, everything's fine and dandy. Woohoo! I'm going to drink my go-go juice. Hello, my royal lovelies. Welcome back to the channel, and as always, welcome to my home. Today, well, it's almost the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it, my loves? So over the last few days, I, of course, have been talking to you about King Charles's diagnosis and, of course, all of the aftermath that we've had regarding the pantomime that became of Harry's dash across the Atlantic to come and see his father, which I said yesterday in yesterday's video, it would be rather telling how long he stayed in London. Little did I know that he was already almost back in California. So he's left. Harry has left. He was not even in the country, I don't think, for 24 hours. So we saw the ridiculous, humiliating for Harry situation where he travelled, how many, probably over 10,000 miles in total, using emissions and all the cost and the entourage and the pantomime of all the cars and the police escorts, notifying the press that he was coming, this unsolicited, unwarranted visit. Now, I say unwarranted not because I look unfavourably at a son visiting his father, but this is not just any son visiting any father in any normal circumstances. When the son lives all those thousands of miles away, your father is the king, and you have had such a bad relationship with your father and your family over the past 4 years. So it's not a typical normal situation, which is why I wish people would stop trying to, justify Harry as if it was, because it quite clearly isn't. I mean, where was Harry and Meghan visiting Meghan's father when he had a medical health scare? I'm waiting for the answer. We all know what the answer is. They didn't care. Shunned, pushed away. That's because there wasn't anything in it for them. Whereas with King Charles, there most definitely is something in it for them. Good PR, positive PR spin, which has actually been a complete disaster because of the way that Harry went about it. Like I said in yesterday's video, and I will reiterate in this one, the king was not in immediate danger or risk. He just started treatment. He remains upbeat. He remains positive of the treatment. The rest of the family are just getting on with life, with duties. We'll talk about that in a moment. So for Harry to make this unsolicited dash across the pond was just pure Sussex spin and PR. No doubt he was pushed by the monster of Montecito, residing currently in Snake Mountain. But yes, he is now gone, which tells a really, really big tale to me that he was not invited to stay with any friends that he may still have residing in the UK. I don't know how many friends he has left. He wasn't invited to stay with family, and he most certainly was not invited to go along with the king. I mean, I can understand maybe not flying in the same helicopter, but he wasn't even invited to go to Sandringham to have an extended stay, owing to the fact that he's travelled all this way. It was very much, I think, an inconvenience for His Majesty. This is what it looks. Actions can often speak way louder than words. We didn't need a statement. We didn't need to be a fly on the wall. We can clearly see which way it went. The king had made plans. He'd just had his first treatment. He wanted to go to Sandringham. I'm sure the king was actually probably slightly delayed and inconvenienced by Harry, who made this unsolicited dash. And then as soon as the king... I mean, there's even reports that the actual meeting may have only lasted about 12 minutes. He was sort of there around about 45, but once you've kind of got in and whatever, once he's been debugged, by debugged I mean all the devices checked for, to stop Meghan from listening in. It's almost like he's operated remotely by Meghan. I bet she was there in some kind of hidden earpiece. I hope they found all of the devices. I really, really do. Anyway, there's talks that, the upper limit was about 45 minutes. The lower end of the estimates, some people are suggesting about 12 minutes. Either way, it was not a very, very long meeting, and the king got out of there as quickly as he possibly could. Off he went in his helicopter. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And then Harry, tail between his legs, dragged himself back to his hotel, and then he must have got the major hump and got the next flight that he possibly could back the following day. So no invitation from William and Catherine. I think we all pretty much knew that, and obviously that did not come to fruition. So we were quite right in what we suspected from yesterday's video. But I was maybe expecting a slightly longer stay from Harry in the UK. That did not happen. And the reason why I think he expected a longer stay in the UK was the amount of luggage he brought. I mean, did you see all those cases? That was not just an overnight case look. He packed most definitely for I don't know how long I'm going to stay. And I think it just leaves complete egg on his face. So the Sentinel, the bot of the ginger lapdog puppy, controlled by the monster of Montecito, remotely, I shouldn't wonder, has been called to return home to base. The mission most definitely was not accomplished and did not go the way that the Montecito monster wanted. So he's been recalled. Her troop has been recalled, and I shouldn't imagine he's there now. So we saw Harry grinning at the airport. I don't know why he was grinning. He had a big kind of smirk on his face. Mission most definitely was not accomplished. Maybe he went to Daddy for money. I have heard rumours that some people have been suggesting maybe he went to Daddy for money. I don't think so. I think the king most firmly put Harry in his place, probably told him that it was a completely unnecessary visit, and that if he was needed, maybe perhaps he would be called, tongue in cheek. I think possibly saying that to get rid of him. And off the lapdog puppy went, tail dragging between its legs. Most definitely. And then we saw the extraordinary, by the way, the photos were taken by Backgrid again. I mean, I'm just saying, of Meghan grinning, driving her car, driving her Range Rover, while she was drinking a cup. Now, in the UK, I don't know if that photo of her with the cup was taken while she was stationary, but if you are behind the wheel of a car in the UK, you're not supposed to, be drinking from cups or anything of that nature. So I don't know what the rules are in California. Maybe they're different at Snake Mountain, or maybe she was taking a big liberty, I don't know. But if she was driving with a cup, that's, drinking, that's quite dangerous. Anyway, there she was, grinning like a Cheshire cat, ear to ear. So she looked like the cat that had got the cream. Now, I don't think that's the case. Again, I think it's a Sussex PR stunt in operation. I think they called Backgrid and wanted a picture of Meghan smiling. Damage limitation at its finest. Well, its worst, because we can see straight through. Hi, Rory. How are you doing, my darling? Have you come to join in? By the way, it's a 3-strand pearl necklace day today. We just need them in our life. And Granny's chips, of course. So yes, I think damage limitation. They want to put out the impression that all went well, that everything's smiling and laughing and doing. She must have told Harry, make sure when you get papped at the airport, because we've arranged the pap, make sure you smile. Make sure you smile for the cameras, grin from ear to ear, because I'm going to go out later in the Range Rover and I'm going to be smiling from ear to ear with my go-go juice, with Megsy Baby's go-go juice. ooh, everything's fine and dandy, woohoo! I'm gonna drink my go-go juice and I'm gonna go get 'em, girls. Yes, that's exactly what she wants you to think. But we're not fooled, my loves, are we? We're not. It was a spectacular disaster, Sussex PR damage limitation, and going back across the pond, tail dragging firmly in the mud between his legs. Now, the royal family has been carrying on as normal. We saw Princess Anne the other day out and about, and not only was she doing investitures, but she was seen wearing one of the Queen's former outfits, a beautiful purple coat. No doubt, possibly an Angela Kelly original design, may also be Stuart Parvin, not entirely sure. But the Queen was seen wearing it on a number of past engagements. Of course, I'm talking Queen Elizabeth II. So we did often wonder, a lot of royal watchers wondered, what happened to the extensive wardrobe of Her late Majesty. A lot of people assumed it had just gone into storage, ready for maybe future displays or presentations of the Queen's wardrobe. But little did we realise that some of the Queen's clothes have actually passed to possibly potential family members. We saw Princess Anne most definitely wearing what appeared to be the Queen's former coat, and it looked really good on her. I'm not terribly sure whether or not it would have had to have been resized or taken in, because Princess Anne still most definitely has her schoolgirl figure. Did you see those boots? She had a lovely pair of kinky boots on. So Princess Anne becoming definitely a fashion icon in her latter years. I think she was a fashion icon in her early years when she was a teenager and in her 20s. And then I think she kind of maybe the radar was not the radar, maybe the attention was taken off her outfits for a while, maybe in the 70s, 80s, that kind of 90s. But I think she's having a bit of a resurgence in today's world and maybe becoming a little bit of a fashion icon, especially with that hair. Oh, I'd love to find a wig in Princess Anne's hair. Prince William stepping up, the Prince of Wales doing investitures. Now, of course, this is very, very important to get back to royal life, to get back to duties. He is not going back full throttle. He is still prioritising his family. Now, I know there has been talk online, obviously William and Catherine have a lot of help in the form of nannies and lots of staff. But I think what we don't know at this point is how serious Catherine's condition is. I think we all have guessed that her condition is more serious than what the statements let on. 2 weeks in hospital, months of recuperation at best. So I think what we need to do is kind of look at the signs. If William is not going back to duties full time, I think it probably shows that there is a need for him to be at home, overseeing things, being a hands-on dad, because we don't know how much of a hands-on mother Catherine is capable of being at present. So I think we need to read between the lines a little bit here and assume that when William does eventually go back to full-time duties, taking up that slack, that Catherine is well enough for him to do so, and that while he's not, then perhaps it suggests that she is not well enough for him to, take his attention away from family. William also said in a recent speech, and I think this is really good of him to address the situation, and also made a little bit of a lightheartedness of it, which I think helped people to relax.
Thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you to all those whose hard work has made this evening possible. I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you also for the kind messages of support for Catherine and for my father, especially in recent days. It means a great deal to us all. It's fair to say the past few weeks have had a rather medical focus, so I thought I'd come to an air ambulance function to get away from it all. But seriously, we gather tonight to help as many people as possible.
Of course, He was a search and rescue pilot for many years before assuming full-time royal duties. So definitely an affinity with the air ambulance, and good to see William back, good to see him back to form, and good to see him confronting, being very, very upfront and thanking people for all of their well wishes for Catherine and of course for his father the king. So not shying away from present happenings, shall we say. So what is next for the Montecito monster and her ginger lapdog puppy? Well, only time will tell. I think they are going to have to readdress the situation. They are most definitely out on a limb. They are so cold. They are so far out of even the family. I think it's one thing to be frozen out of the working royal element, but it seems like not only are they completely frozen out, and I think, you know, the king wanted Harry to know about his medical condition, but they are so frozen out that they are even like visibly being rejected by their family. And I think this was a very visible rejection based on the fact that they can't trust Harry and Meghan. And I think that is the crux of it all. They can't trust them. Harry and Meghan have done everything over the past 3 to 4 years to completely annihilate the trust of the royal family between them. And it's not thawing. They are so cold, they are so far out that they may as well practically be in Siberia. That is how irrelevant they have become. You know, a courtesy telling of, his father's condition, I think was, fairly essential. But they're not wanted. They are not needed. They are not wanted. They are in Siberia. And this whole episode has highlighted that to the max. And I think if it wasn't driven home already to Harry, I think it most definitely has been now. He knows he is out. He is on his own. And if he continues this path of self-destruction, it's the Duke and Duchess of Windsor all over again. So now that the bot has returned to base, what will the monster of Montecito be constructing now? Who knows? Answers on a postcard. So thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and of course do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.